Toxic people attack your emotional energy first. According to Machiavelli, anyone who cannot control emotions becomes controlled by others. Your first defense is emotional discipline. When a toxic person provokes you, do not react. Silence unsettles them more than arguments. A calm, unreadable response makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. The less they understand your inner state, the less control they have over you. Machiavelli warned that not all enemies attack openly. Some hide poison behind smiles. Toxic people often appear friendly while quietly undermining you. Watch actions, not words. Anyone who consistently belittles your achievements or plants doubt in your mind is not a friend. True intentions are revealed over time, not through charm. Observation is a ruler's greatest weapon. Toxic people win through confusion, not strength. They twist conversations until you feel guilty for their behavior. Machiavelli believed clarity equals power. When someone manipulates language, calmly ask direct questions. Do not allow vague answers. Confusion benefits manipulators, but clarity exposes them. The moment you demand precision, their control begins to collapse. Never reveal your weaknesses to toxic people. Machiavelli taught that weakness should only be shared with absolute trust. Toxic individuals weaponize vulnerability. What begins as sympathy ends as leverage. Keep your struggles private. The less personal ammunition others possess, the safer and stronger your position becomes. Power is not only confrontation, it is distance. Toxic people poison slowly through proximity. Machiavelli understood that withdrawal can be a strategic move. You do not owe everyone access to your time or emotions. Not every call needs an answer. Not every message deserves a reply. Distance restores control. Toxic people thrive on drama. Machiavelli believed control belongs to the one who governs the emotional atmosphere. Refuse to participate. Stay neutral and calm. When you deny emotional fuel, toxic people expose themselves. Without reaction, their influence fades rapidly. Never confront a toxic person unless you are fully prepared. Machiavelli warned that direct attacks should only happen when victory is certain. Otherwise, silence is smarter. Study their patterns, understand their motives, and choose between confrontation or complete withdrawal. Strategy always comes before action. Toxic people slowly erode your self-worth. Machiavelli taught that those who do not value themselves invite disrespect. Set firm boundaries. Calmly refuse when limits are crossed. People may not like boundaries, but they always respect them. Respect matters more than approval. Information is currency. Machiavelli advised against revealing plans too early. Toxic people collect details to sabotage later. Speak less and observe more. Those who constantly seek information rarely have good intentions. Silence protects you while revealing others. Toxic people are experts at playing victims. Machiavelli warned that perpetual victims are often hidden manipulators. Do not be moved by tears alone. Study patterns and facts. Anyone who repeats the same harm while demanding sympathy has no intention of changing. Never seek validation from toxic people. Machiavelli believed dependence weakens authority. When your self-worth depends on their approval, they control you. Define your own value. Once you stop seeking validation, their influence disappears completely. Toxic people maintain clean public images while being destructive in private. Machiavelli emphasized the power of image. If exposure is necessary, use evidence, not emotion. Emotional accusations weaken your position. Documented facts strengthen it. Not every battle deserves your energy. Machiavelli taught selective engagement. Toxic people drag others into meaningless conflicts. Sometimes ignoring is the strongest victory. Invest energy only where growth exists. Those who drain you deserve distance. Jealousy drives many toxic behaviors. Machiavelli observed that people resent success more than failure. Keep achievements quiet. Visibility attracts attack. What is unseen is rarely targeted. Never make toxic people the center of your life. Machiavelli warned that whoever occupies the center controls the system. Focus on growth, skills, and purpose. When your life is full, toxic individuals lose relevance. Toxic people weaken decision-making through doubt. Machiavelli believed decisiveness defines power. If someone constantly complicates your choices, question their intentions. Trust your judgment. Doubt is often planted deliberately. Respect often comes from strength. Machiavelli understood that people target those who seem easy. Being kind is not weakness, but tolerating disrespect is. Clear limits and exploitation. Toxic people exploit kindness. Machiavelli taught that generosity must remain controlled. Unlimited access invites abuse. Anyone who only takes without returning respect does not deserve continued access. Never fight emotional wars emotionally. Machiavelli believed wars are won with reason. Stay calm when they rage. Emotional imbalance becomes your advantage. Control yourself and you control the situation. Toxic people weaponize the past. Machiavelli warned against living backward. Stop explaining old mistakes. Those obsessed with your past fear your future growth. Toxic people rush decisions. Machiavelli valued patience. Pressure signals manipulation. Slow responses frustrate those seeking control. Time is a shield. Those who know all your secrets are never fully safe. Machiavelli treated secrecy as power. Mystery preserves authority and limits betrayal. Disrespect disguised as humor is still disrespect. Machiavelli rejected hidden insults. Addressed them calmly. Tolerated disrespect multiplies. Never expect apologies from toxic people. Machiavelli warned against seeking closure externally. Peace is self-created, not granted. Comparison divides power. Machiavelli opposed unnecessary rivalry. Stay in your lane. Focus dismantles manipulation. Over-explaining weakens authority. Machiavelli valued brevity. No requires no justification. Authority speaks through certainty. Favors create hidden chains. Machiavelli warned that generosity can be strategic. Anyone who reminds you of past help seeks control. Never depend on toxic people for future plans. Machiavelli believed independence prevents betrayal. Control increases as dependence decreases. Silence without boundaries invites disrespect. Machiavelli balanced silence with action. Speak only when necessary. Constant availability lowers value. Machiavelli taught scarcity builds respect. Protect your time. Crowds weaken individuals. Machiavelli avoided public power struggles. Choose the battlefield wisely. Do not chase rumors. Machiavelli believed reputation is built by consistency, not defense. Patience combined with awareness is lethal. Machiavelli valued pattern recognition. Once patterns are seen, control shifts. Never beg for respect. Machiavelli saw dignity as non-negotiable. Walk away when necessary. Emotional blackmail reveals weakness. Machiavelli advised calm evaluation. Pressure distorts truth. Limit exposure to toxic people. Machiavelli understood proximity equals influence. Distance protects power. Success attracts envy. Machiavelli warned against revealing growth too early. Quiet strength survives longer. Reactions signal loss of control. Machiavelli valued calculated responses. Think first, act later. Forgiveness without change invites repeat harm. Machiavelli demanded proof, not promises. Loneliness is safer than dependence. Machiavelli respected self-sufficiency. Freedom begins within. Kindness mistaken for entitlement reveals character. Machiavelli observed reactions when help stops. Boundaries create leaders. Machiavelli valued enforcement. Inconsistency destroys authority. Guilt is a cheap weapon. Machiavelli warned against emotional manipulation. Evaluate guilt rationally. Closure is an illusion. Machiavelli taught inner resolution. Peace comes from detachment. Boundaries are labeled attitude by those losing control. Machiavelli dismissed such accusations. Distance is clarity. Self-worth requires no explanation. Machiavelli trusted silent confidence. True loyalty appears in difficulty. Machiavelli judged by actions, not words. Never compromise values for acceptance. Machiavelli believed power without principles becomes chaos, and chaos always consumes its creator. Toxic individuals will slowly pressure you to bend your morals, first small things, then bigger ones. The moment you sacrifice integrity for approval, you lose internal authority. True power comes from alignment between action and belief. People may resist your standards, but they will never truly dominate someone who refuses to betray themselves. Integrity makes you internally
Toxic people often launch emotional attacks when they sense they are losing control. Machiavelli believed that the final battlefield is always emotional, not logical. Stay calm when they explode. Emotional restraint during conflict signals dominance. When you leave without anger, insults, or revenge, you deny them closure and satisfaction. Indifference is not weakness, it is superiority. Walking away peacefully while they burn internally is the highest form of psychological victory. The ultimate way to defeat toxic people is not confrontation, but transformation. Machiavelli taught that enemies dissolve when they lose relevance. When you become disciplined, self-reliant, focused, and emotionally stable, toxic people can no longer attach to you. They depend on chaos and reaction. Remove those, and they disappear naturally. Strength makes explanation unnecessary. Toxic individuals fear one thing more than exposure: your independence. Machiavelli believed dependency creates chains. When you no longer need their validation, support, or approval, their influence collapses. Independence disrupts manipulation. Build your own emotional, financial, and psychological stability. The less you need others, the harder you are to control. Freedom begins where dependency ends. Never announce your exit to toxic people. Machiavelli advised silent movement. Announcing departure invites sabotage, guilt, and manipulation. Leave quietly. Reduce communication slowly. Detach without drama. Silence denies them a final confrontation, which they crave. Quiet exits preserve dignity and prevent retaliation. Power often moves without noise. Toxic individuals thrive on emotional reactions because reactions give them proof of relevance. Machiavelli believed relevance equals power. When you stop reacting, you remove their proof. Neutral responses, delayed replies, and emotional distance slowly starve manipulation. Control fades where attention disappears.
Do not confuse familiarity with loyalty. Machiavelli warned that time spent together does not equal trust. Toxic people can remain close for years while quietly undermining you. Loyalty reveals itself during moments of pressure, not comfort. Observe who supports your growth, not who merely occupies space in your life. Toxic individuals often disguise control as concern. Machiavelli understood that false care is one of the most effective manipulations. Question intentions behind advice that limits your freedom. True guidance empowers, control restricts. Learn to distinguish protection from possession. Never explain your boundaries repeatedly. Machiavelli believed repetition weakens authority. Boundaries should be stated once and enforced consistently. Those who challenge them are testing dominance. Enforcement, not explanation, creates respect. Toxic people remember your mistakes but forget your growth. Machiavelli warned against allowing others to define your narrative.
You are not obligated to remain the version they benefit from. Growth threatens manipulators. Change unapologetically. Avoid emotional transparency with those who lack emotional discipline. Machiavelli believed emotional information is strategic intelligence. Share selectively. Vulnerability without trust becomes ammunition. Privacy preserves power. Toxic people attempt to rush forgiveness to avoid accountability. Machiavelli taught that forgiveness without change is surrender. Observe behavior, not apologies. Patterns never lie. Trust should be rebuilt slowly or not at all. Never seek justice from someone who benefits from injustice. Machiavelli understood that expecting fairness from manipulators invites disappointment. Accept reality quickly. Adapt strategically. Peace comes from clarity, not fairness. Toxic people exploit empathy. Machiavelli believed empathy must be governed by logic. Compassion without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Protect your kindness with discernment. Control your availability. Machiavelli taught that access defines value. If someone can reach you anytime, they will respect you less. Scarcity creates importance. Time discipline is dominance. Never argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you. Machiavelli warned against wasting energy on futile battles. Silence ends debates that logic cannot. Choose peace over proving points. Toxic people resist accountability because accountability removes leverage. Machiavelli believed responsibility equals power. Those who avoid it seek control without consequence. Distance yourself from irresponsibility. Do not reveal your healing process to those who benefited from your wounds. Machiavelli advised secrecy during recovery. Healing threatens manipulators. Heal quietly. Toxic people fear your clarity. Machiavelli valued decisiveness. Ambiguity invites control. Clarity destroys it. Make firm decisions and stand by them. Never let nostalgia override reality. Machiavelli warned against emotional attachment to past versions of people. Judge who they are now, not who they were. Toxic individuals exploit hope. Machiavelli believed hope must be paired with evidence. Do not wait for change that has never arrived. Time reveals truth. Control your reactions in public conflicts. Machiavelli understood reputation as power. Composure protects status. Emotional displays weaken authority. Toxic people dislike confident silence. Machiavelli taught that silence combined with strength unsettles enemies. Speak less, act more. Never apologize for enforcing self-respect. Machiavelli believed dignity is non-negotiable. Apologies should correct errors, not justify boundaries. Toxic people often accuse you of changing when you stop tolerating disrespect. Machiavelli saw growth as threat. Change anyway. Growth is not betrayal. Do not seek emotional closure from those incapable of honesty. Machiavelli believed closure is internal. Waiting for answers keeps you trapped. Master emotional detachment without losing humanity. Machiavelli taught balance. Care deeply, but never blindly. Control emotion, do not kill it. The highest level of power is peace that does not depend on anyone's behavior. Machiavelli believed true dominance is internal. When your stability no longer shakes because of others, you become unreachable. Toxic people cannot survive where discipline, clarity, and self-respect rule. True power is reached when your inner peace no longer depends on how others behave. Machiavelli believed that the strongest ruler is one who governs himself first. When toxic people can no longer provoke anger, guilt, or fear inside you, they lose all influence. Emotional independence makes you unreachable. At this stage, even hostility feels distant. You are no longer reacting, you are choosing, and choice is the highest form of control. Toxic people lose interest when they realize they cannot rewrite your self-image. Machiavelli understood that identity is a battlefield. Manipulators try to define who you are so they can control how you act.
When you refuse their labels, accusations, and projections, you reclaim authorship of your identity. A person who knows exactly who they are cannot be reshaped by pressure. Self-definition is dominant. Never underestimate the power of emotional discipline over brute confrontation. Machiavelli taught that visible aggression is often a sign of inner weakness. Toxic individuals escalate when they sense resistance. Calmness during escalation confuses and disarms them. Emotional discipline signals confidence, superiority, and authority. The one who remains composed controls the narrative, while the one who explodes loses position and credibility. Toxic people fear one thing more than rejection: being irrelevant. Machiavelli believed influence depends on perceived importance. When you stop centering them in your thoughts, conversations, and decisions, their power evaporates. Indifference is not cruelty, it is clarity. By redirecting focus toward growth and purpose, you quietly erase them from your mental hierarchy. Power shifts where attention moves. The final test of mastery is restraint. Machiavelli emphasized that not every truth must be spoken and not every insult answered. Silence can be strategic, not passive. When you resist the urge to explain, justify, or defend yourself, you deny manipulators their battlefield. Restraint preserves energy and sharpens authority. The less reactive you become, the more commanding your presence grows. At the highest level, you no longer deal with toxic people, you outgrow them. Machiavelli believed growth creates natural separation. When your mindset evolves, toxic dynamics cannot follow. You move into environments of discipline, clarity, and respect. There is no revenge, no drama, no closure scene, only distance. And distance, when chosen consciously, is the most elegant expression of power. In the end, the greatest victory over toxic people is not confrontation, revenge, or explanation. It is self-mastery. When your mind is disciplined, your emotions are controlled, and your purpose is clear, toxic people lose all power over you. They do not leave because you push them away. They leave because they can no longer reach you.